Welcome back to the Conscious Business Show, where we connect the heart, mind to the wallet. We are here live at the Sustainable Business Network Conference in Boston at Northeastern. Will Krause, our co-host for today, thank you so much.
It's great to be alongside you, Darby.
Well, sustainability, environmental, social governance, as a CFA, all wonderful attributes here. And we're very excited. We've got two lovely people with us here from Tech Network of Boston. We have Susan Labandibar, who is the founder of the group, and also Tuan Pham, who is the CEO of the group. And so welcome so much to being here on our show and at the conference. You know, we've started each conversation with trying to understand everybody's personal journey. What has brought you to this point in your life, and how it has impacted the work relationships and sense of community that we've also talked a lot about with people today and yesterday at the conference. So Susan, I'll turn to you first as founder of the Tech Network of Boston. Tell us about you and your personal journey and what brought you to this point in your life, and we'll move on from there.
Hi, thank you, Darby. I started Tech Networks of Boston as a way of just earning money. I had just come back from hitchhiking around Europe. I was broke. I read a book by J. Conrad Levinson called How to Earn Money Without a Job. It sounded good. So one of the ideas that I came up with after reading that book was to sell used computers to college students. This was back in 1994, and inner city college students had no easy way to buy a used computer. So if you had seen me back in 1994, 1995, I was tootling around in my Honda Accord delivering computers to inner city college students, setting them up and showing them how to use them. And so from there, the business just seemed to grow just without me even realizing
Organically,
it,
yeah.
And at one point, I was looking in my cash box, which was just a little wooden box that I had, and I couldn't fit any more money into the cash box. And it was like, obviously I need to open a bank account. So that was so those were the early days, and
It's a good problem to have.
it was
yeah.
a great problem to have. But cash businesses have their own problems. One time I left $8,000 in a backpack in a parking lot. So,
Oh.
but we quickly moved on from there. I hired people and started a retail store, and then as time went on, we started selling a lot of computers to nonprofit organizations. And then we started naturally, when they started putting together networks, we started putting together networks for them. And we really became their IT service providers. And there are a lot of nonprofits in the Boston area. So from there, I started to realize at this point I had 8 or 9 employees, and it had been 6, 7 years, and I realized I wasn't going to be leaving the business anytime soon. So I started trying to figure out how I could make the business really help fulfill my life's goals, which was really to save the planet, make a difference in this world, and so I joined the Sustainable Business Network. And
Interesting. Okay.
so that was in the very early 2000s, and I really learned a lot about how you can use a business as a force for good. And now I think that's become more common, but at the time it seemed revolutionary
Right.
to me.
And you're president now of SBN for Massachusetts,
Yes.
which is wonderful.
Yes, so it's been a great relationship. So now we're serving about 80 nonprofits, and I'm going to pass it over to Tuan. Just like in the business, I've actually passed over the leadership of the organization to Tuan Pham, who's been working at Tech Networks for almost 10 years, and he is taking the business in new directions. And I have now I'm a full-time activist, so I'm doing a lot
Oh,
of
fabulous.
other things.
Okay.
And so it's fantastic to watch my baby take wings
I was going
and
to say,
fly. Yeah.
exactly. Well, as an entrepreneur, it is your child, right? I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
it truly it comes from you, and that passion certainly is visible. So it's wonderful. So Tuan, love to hear about your story. And now you had even mentioned, actually both of you did, that being a benefit corp and of sort of the genesis of really Tech Networks of Boston. So from your vision and vantage point, how did you get here, and what's next?
Well, I got here because the world of journalism, which frankly put, we're having a conversation right now.
Yes.
I was a former print journalist. I actually was a sports writer for 8 years.
Okay.
So when everybody was celebrating the Red Sox and the Patriots winning, I was working till 4 a.m. And that was not a sustainable path of living.
Okay.
So, strangely enough, I came here to Tech Networks of Boston as a marketing guy. I went through that revolving door of, hey, you're a journalist and now you're going to become a PR guy.
Wow. Good for you.
And was really not even in tune with the concept of corporate social responsibility or just giving back. I was volunteering, I was doing things like that, but I never understood and never thought of how business could be a driver of good until I
yeah.
met Susan. So our first few conversations may have been, why aren't you recycling that? Or why aren't you driving? Well, why are you driving all over the place? But then over time and seeing the nonprofits that we were supporting, I really saw, hey, this business can do a lot of change in the metro Boston area and nationally also. So that's why I'm passionate, and that's why I'm really trying to change this business so we can support Susan's activism, but also our area nonprofits.
Right.
They're the ones that are driving a lot of activism, advocacy, and whatever I can do to help them and make them their jobs a lot easier. That's what I want my company to do.